Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 6 of the Intercontinental Sim Racing Porsche Challenge. Today we're venturing into Spain for the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya around the national circuit. My name's Isaac Barclay, and joining me today in the commentary box is Martin Pearson, and on the cameras, silent but deadly, Vincent Evers. How are you guys doing?
I'm good, thanks, Isaac. Yourself?
Absolutely brilliant, thank you. I've just had my dinner, joined back into Discord about 30 seconds ago, but I'm raring to go. And I'll tell you right now, while eating my dinner, I was excited because I know what the racing's like when you get just 10 cars out on track in these Porsche Cups in the previous rounds. We've got 17 here today and a lot of new faces. And looking at the practice times, it's been really close. I reckon this is going to lead up to be an absolute cracker of a race here around this shorter 2.9 kilometer circuit.
Yeah, I don't think I can pick fault with what you just said there, Isaac. I'm excited for this. I mean, first practice, 17 cars out on Tuesday night, and 16 of them within a second, and Luke Chmielowski led the pack from the early free practice one. Went a little bit quicker in free practice two, but even still, we still managed to get 16 cars within a second. And yeah, no, this should be absolutely fantastic and a hell of a lot more exciting, I can guarantee it, than that Snorefest that was here last weekend.
I'm going to agree to that. I mean, to be honest with you, it's hard to be more boring than Formula One cars around pretty much any circuit. As this is the exact opposite. And I'll just go back to what you're talking about, which is this man on screen, Luke Chmielowski. He had a really bad start to the season. He came in, he led all the free practice sessions at Silverstone, the same again at Mid-Ohio, but both those rounds, he's just had terrible races. He just can't get to grips with the car. It seems like he was really struggling to find his groove, and it was the same again until we got through to round 4. And since then, Luke Chmielowski has just been banging in brilliant lap times, and he's come through and he's got 2 race wins out of the last 4 races, and he's getting podiums nearly every time, and he's always in that top 3 in the standings in every session. Man, this guy's really quick, and I mean, with only 3 rounds to go, including this one, there's going to be some absolutely cracking battles at the top end of the field, and I can guarantee you he's going to be the one to keep an eye on at the top.
Yeah, he is. Despite having all of that pace, he is only 3rd in the championship. As we see, I think a lock-up into the final few minutes of practice as Pete Plastow is now on screen. So ahead of Luke Chmielowski on the overall championship is Mr. Pete Plastow. He has had a fantastic run and has been bumped up to the overall of the pro category for this race. His I rating went a little bit too high for the regulations. And he got bumped out of the AM Championship as a result of that. I know he's a little bit aggrieved with that, and has been racing the pro guys a bit differently throughout the season so far. But unfortunately, the rules have played their part. And nonetheless, he is 2nd in the championship with Nanzavano ahead of him. So yeah, doing a decent job. And speaking of newcomers, as you said earlier, Isaac, we got Adrian Vandenberg on screen now in the 699 DC Sim Racing car, going a little bit wide at the first corner. So this is the cut through onto the rest of the normal circuit as we see, and then turn 2 is normally, what is that, 7, I think? Turn 7 it is. Oh, as he goes for a bit of a spin, these cars are still very tricky to handle.
Exactly, they have been very challenging for a lot of drivers out on track. At last round at Circuit de Mosport, I say Circuit de Mosport. No, it's just Canadian Tire Mosport Park. I know where I got Circuit from, but we saw a lot of drivers struggling with that track as it's high speed, but you got a lot of change of directions, and it's a very difficult track, and drivers were struggling with it. Whereas here, this is a bit more, I would say, traditional, like a lot of modern circuits. Drivers, it's like slow in, fast out corners. They're not fast out there for one of the I want to say DRC. It's not DRC. I'm sorry. What's the name now?
Avensis Racing.
Avensis Racing.
Who they are. So that was Raymond Shepherds in the 210.
I do apologise.
So him and Tom Voss have helped form new Avensis Racing team after the unfortunate demise of Team DRC. But yeah, still a good bunch of people that have started their own team together after a little bit of a fallout. And so qualifying is underway, and Adrian Vandenberg is the first guy out. So it's a 8-minute lone qualifying session. to be making sure that his tyres get up to temperature as he comes around on his outlap.
Yeah, obviously, as you're saying, Adrian, new to the championship, he's not the only new face that we've got, who have got two new drivers as well, with Robbie van Oostenburg and David Glass as well, this is their first time out competing. Robbie van Oostenburg is competing under DC Sim Racing, the same team as we've got here. But yeah, so it's nice to see some new faces coming in, even with 6 rounds to go, as we're ready for Adrian to be the first man to start his flying lap. And I'll walk you through a lap here as he comes through the final chicane, very tight, coming down towards the final corner. Got to be careful that he doesn't lose the rear end. That's going to be really challenging in the race as he comes down over the start-finish straight. The timing line's right at the start. He just went over it just there as he makes his way down to turn 1. A lot shorter run than you'd see on the Grand Prix circuit, as he's looking for that 300-meter mark board, and he'll be braking down there all the way into second gear, try and take a late apex, get a best of run as he can, and going into this very technical left-right uphill. It's off camber, so the drivers are going to be struggling to get the power down. With that sausage curb on the inside there, it's going to be difficult for the drivers to make their way through that corner. Before this very technical corner, before coming onto the back straight, you've got to make sure that you carry enough speed through there and don't slow down too much before they're coming into the tightest corner on the circuit, the hairpin. This has recently been changed, as we saw last weekend in F1, to allow a bit more wider, but iRacing's not updated yet, so it's still the traditional tight hairpin that it was before. As we watch Adrian going down to third gear, coming towards the final complex of corners, coming down into the second to last right-hander before coming into this very tight chicane. It's going to be very difficult for drivers to make overtakes here, but in the Porsche Cup Championship, I'm sure we'll see lots of them before this very difficult final corner again. Getting a good exit, using as much of the track as he dares, and he'll come across to the line to set a time of... that looks like a 1:13.3, so a fast lap time, although we have seen the drivers dipping into the 1:12, so that's what I reckon we should be seeing from these pro guys at the absolute sharp end, as Tom Vos goes even faster with a 13 flat, and on their first flying lap, just still getting the tyres up to temperature, but this second lap here is where we'll be seeing all the drivers going faster. And speaking of faster, Luke Chmielowski, 12.3. That's 7 tenths faster than the next car. Where's this man getting pace from?
I don't know. He had over a quarter of a second in practice over, I think it was Andre Geiger was our second overall practice time, and therefore Andre was ahead of the Anfield. But wow, that's to do that on your first lap as well. That just shows you the confidence that this man has.
Indeed it does, and unfortunately not having a brilliant race last time out in I say not having a brilliant race, no, he had an excellent race, sorry, last time out in Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and he'd be wanting to carry that momentum forward again, and if this qualifying is anything to go off of, it certainly is the place to do it. As we now look at Niels Leppers, he's about to start his first he's on his out lap right now, so he's waiting until a bit later on in the session to see what the other drivers are doing, I imagine, before trying to set his competitive laps. But we've got 3 German sim racing French drivers out on track today. Niels Leppers, Andre Geiger and Dennis Prickbrenner are those 3. And last time in Canadian Tire, they had a bit of a coming together almost every race. We saw we saw Andre Geiger having a brilliant run, managing to secure a second place in race number 1. So excellent driving from the amateur driver. As it looks like Robbie van Oostenburg's managed to go second. Not able to get as close to Luke as he would have liked, but that's put him in a secure second place. I say secure. Robbie van Oostenburg has done a 12.73. Then behind you got David Glass, one of the amateur drivers, the first of amateur drivers, 12.74. Then Tom Vos, 12.77. And then you have to get down to 5th place before you're a 10th over those 3 drivers. That is just ridiculously close.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an absolutely stunning race, or a couple of races this evening. So 2 20-minute races we have in store for you tonight. Looking at the onboard that we had with... oh my goodness, Adrian Vandenberg it was. very patient. Quite a lot of he has to be very patient on the throttle, as we've seen in a lot of Porsche Cup races so far, and there are also quite a lot of slow speed corners here, which to me is going to lend itself for a little dive up the inside, a bit of show the nose, see what happens sort of action. How do you feel the race is going to play out tonight, Isaac? Oh, as Raymond Sheffers is struggling with that sausage curb, and I think that is going to be something that catches people out. They're going to have to be, especially when they're in close formation behind each other.
Yeah, going back to what you were just saying there, I feel like you're saying a lot of slow speed corners, high speed into slow speed means that there's going to be a lot of overtakes. Drivers are going to be sending it up the inside as late on the brakes as they dare. And if the racing quality is anything to go off what it has been in the last 5 rounds, I fully expect the drivers to be respectful of the others. And I reckon we're going to have some absolutely brilliant racing with lots of room given. At least I hope so anyway. Yeah, but then what we just saw here from Raymond Sheffers on that sausage curb, I reckon that's going to be a massive factor this race. It's going to be important for drivers not to hit that curb, because if they do, they're going to end up like that backwards. And yeah, I think that might be the deciding factor for a lot of the drivers, maybe a bit lower down the order as to whether they're going to get a good result or not. It's just managing to keep the car clean around a track with so many acceleration zones in a car without any traction control.
Yeah, and the corner that James Parker's just gone through onto this back straight is also quite tricky as it comes over a bit of a crest as well. You know, you're just exceedingly keen to get on the throttle, but out of a medium speed corner, you can't, in these Porsche Cup cars, you can't just hit the floorboards with your throttle pedal and hope that it sticks, because it won't. It never will. So yeah, I think this is going to be a true test. We say it's a sprint race, but it might also feel a little bit like an endurance race for our drivers this evening. But James Parker there is not sporting, or he's sporting new colours in a darker livery with looks like Dell Technologies on the front bonnet. We've previously seen him in a white and light blue car, so good to have an update to the livery. Wout van Krooijen's just posted in the YouTube channel, and he's not particularly happy with his qualifying effort. So he's about a second off the AM pole, and but yeah, nonetheless, it's a 2 20-minute races this evening, and the second race is a top 10 reverse finish.
As we're going to pull up our qualifying results from round number 6. So Luke Chmielowski was our pole sitter by a whopping 4/10 over the next man, Robbie van Nussenburg, one of the newcomers to the series, just ahead of David Glass, the first of our AM runners. Then we've got Tom Voss in 4th with Dennis Prickbrenner in 5th. 6th place, we've got Nanzavano, our championship leader, with Adrian van der Berg just behind. Kevin Vermont is 8th place with Sebastian Boscher-Williams, first of our backmarker racing cars, in 9th place with his teammate of Stefan Jones just behind. Andre Geiger sitting in 11th place, the second of our German sim racing Freds runners, with Peter Plastow, our second place in the championship runner, is in 12th place. 13th, Raymond van Sheffers. 14th, Francois Coulet, with Wout van Krooijen in 15th. Will Money, 16th. James Parker with a unfortunate qualifying down in 17th. And Nils Leppers is starting on the back of the back row in 18th place. But with these two 20-minute races, one being reverse grid for the top 10, it's all to play for. And I mean, if you get yourself in that top 10, then you're going to have a brilliant fighting chance for that second race. So I don't know if I was about you, but if I was starting a bit further back down the pack, I'll be just looking forward to try and get into the top 10 as the engines rev up, waiting for the 5 red lights, and we're racing at Catalonia. Bad start there from our second place driver, Wout van Nussenburg, as Luke Chmielowski gets a brilliant start on the run down to turn 1, defending on the inside from the man behind him, who's David Glass, one of the amateur runners, and he's got an amazing start up into second place as they're going 3 wide, and there's contact. There's been a collision already going down into turn 1. I saw that James Parker was one of the cars involved in that, and also Peter Plastow was backwards there, and unfortunately Sebastian Boscher-Williams looked like the man that caused a lot of that as he came barreling through and made contact with David Glass, who was in second.
Yeah, look, everybody's going left, right and centre there, and there's a huge amount of speed, I think. I think maybe our drivers, or some of our drivers, thought there was a longer run down to the first corner, but that wasn't the case on the shorter version of Circuit de Catalunya. Unfortunate to see, and I'm sure the stewards will have a few incidents to, or will analyse wholly what went on there. But Robbie van Oostenburg, yeah, he's a little bit down on where he was hoping, I'm sure. He started on the front row, and yeah.
Yeah, he did. That was an unfortunate start there for the newcomer to the series, and unfortunate as well to see 3 retirements after lap 1. David Glass, Kevin Vermont and Peter Plastow are all in the pit lane. First time seated Peter Plastow, looking like a potential DNF so far in this series. But let's focus on this right here now. Adrian van der Berg has got a really good start, and he's now, a really bad start as he dropped down a position. As we see a spinner in the background, that looked like one of the
Avensis cars, Tom Voss,
Avensis.
I believe it was.
It was, but it looks like he's managed to get underway. No damage to his Avensis Racing Porsche. So as they make their way up towards turn number 4, on towards the back straight, as running very wide, there's Andre Geiger in the background. As we see this little gaggle of cars making their way down towards the hairpin of Le Caja, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Spanish pronunciation isn't exactly a strong point of mine, but Francois Coulet's under attack from Tom Voss. Coulet is second in the AM Championship at the moment, and doing a fantastic job for Mecca Esports Academy in 5th overall. But yeah, certainly, as Tom Voss gets a little bit of a slide there, but impatient on the throttle pedal. And Will Money behind him is doing a decent job. It's good to see a Positively Racing car in 8th place overall. That's fantastic.
Yeah, like you were just saying there about Francois Coulet, he's been a bit of a dark horse this championship so far. Not had any brilliant results. As saying that, he runs deep and he's left the door open for Tom Voss, who's going to try it around the outside going into turn 2. Unfortunately, can't get it to stick, but he's going to try the over-under. I think he'll be able to get the power down smoothly. Little slide from the Avensis Racing driver up ahead as they go too wide towards Campus Racing corner. And Tom Voss has been able to go around the outside, around that very difficult fast right-hander, and he's going to be elevated up into 5th place. And now Francois Coulet's under pressure. He's going 3 wide at the hairpin. He's made contact with a German Sim Racing Friends driver. He's lost 3 places there, 4 places now, as he gets overtaken by Wout van Krooijsen, who's made his way up from starting in 17th on the grid up now to 9th. But unfortunate to see Francois have such a bad first half of a lap there.
Yeah, I think I must have put the commentator's curse on him after saying he was doing well ahead of Tom Voss. Such a shame to see, but a good little battle there, and switching back and forth with Tom Voss. Tom Voss managing to get the overtake done in the end. I suppose that's one of the unique things that this national circuit can offer through this first complex. But certainly Will Money made the most to trying to follow Tom Voss through, and yeah, the 2 German Sim Racing Friends cars working together of Niels Leppers and Andre Geiger Dennis Pickbringer and Andre Geiger to follow them through. A bit of contact. It was good to see that Coulet wasn't spun around entirely.
You know, I think there might be another instant to look at. Post races up the inside goes the 69 car of Stefan Jones on Adrian van der Berg, and that is a very, very clean, clinical overtake there from Stefan Jones. Decisive, like you were saying, we're going to see a lot of those late braking moves, sending it up the inside and just making the move stick, and then focus on trying to move forward.
Yeah, definitely bold there from Stefan Jones. Good to see. Space given, yeah, a little bit of a late pull out, you could potentially say, but no, a decent job done. As our German Sim Racing Friends are certainly getting friendly with each other. Dennis Pickbrenner is trying to chase down Andre Geiger. So Pickbrenner in the blue livery car and Andre Geiger in the yellow. Geiger was second overall in practice times, so he's kicking himself, chasing down Will Money ahead of him. Geiger's currently sitting in 3rd position in the AM standings.
So I've just heard news that incident at the start of the race was unfortunately caused by Sebastian Boschel-Williams. He's come through and said that he unfortunately missed his braking zone. It was by a fair amount. He's acknowledged that, and yeah, he acknowledges that he was at fault there. It's good for him to come through and realise the mistake, but the stewards will be looking at that post-race. But if you guys want to know what the cause of that was, there you are. As we just saw Andre Geiger making his way past Will Money, as Will Money ran rather wide on the exit of the corner, meaning that Andre Geiger was able to get a better run out, and that's put Geiger up into second place in AM. Oh, saying that, Geiger's run deep at the chicanes, allowing Will Money to sneak back past and his teammate of Dennis Prickbrenner. So that's dropped him back 2 places and now put him on the iron sight of Wout van Kruijsen. Although he's not thinking about that, he's now trying to make another move on Dennis Prickbrenner, going to look up the inside into turn number 1, braking as late as he dares. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? He's fully alongside and past at turn 1, although Prickbrenner's going to try the over-under, not able to make it stick, so lost a position, then gained it straight back there from the German sim racing French driver, and he's showing his pro teammate how to drive.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job, and yeah, gets another opportunity to chase down Will Money, but Wout van Kruijsen in the black and yellow back marker racing car was certainly looking for a way past as well. Again, as Prickbrenner shows the nose up the inside, and it seems to have worked. Has to settle for his position at the moment, but yeah, just nipping at the heels there of Andre Geiger.
Yeah, you see that with that little bit of battling that that they had, meant that the back of the pack could close up now. So that means that the last place this little battle is Nils Leppers, another one of the German sim racing French cars. And you look up ahead there, that is, if I'm not mistaken, 6 cars, sorry, all within a gap of no more than half a second. That's just ridiculous how closely these cars can follow, and I reckon that we're going to see a really tidy battle on our hands from 6th all the way down to 11th.
And Geiger's gone wide at the first corner, dropping down 3 places, if not more. So he's now got James Parker on his tail.
Well, the small mistake cost a lot here.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems to be that first corner that's really catching out everybody tonight. It isn't the easiest. I think it's slightly off camber as well. So trying to get the front end of these Porsches turned in is not easy, as Mecca Esports Academy driver of Francois Coulet, and has lost a little bit of time.
Looked like that was actually... Look, that was actually about running deep there, and Francois looking up the inside and deciding not to go for it, holding this position that he's got at the moment, and instead maybe try and push later on to get the pass done. But he's going to be under pressure now from Andre Geiger, who we've seen had rather shoddy runs through turn number 1. So let's see if he can do better here, as he's going to try a move up the inside. We saw him do this 2 laps ago on his teammate of Dennis Prickbrenner. Is he going to be able to make it stick like he did before? Yes, he is. And it's a similar story to last time. Only difference is Francois Coulet is now going side by side with James Parker, the iRacing UK driver. And unfortunately, James Parker not able to make the move stick, although he's going to look up the inside again, going into the rather difficult turn number 4. Deciding not to do that, and whilst all that happens, Nils Leppers is right behind, closing up onto the exhaust pipe of those 2 Porsche Cup cars up ahead.
As we switch to the front, and Stefan Jones is right up the tailpipes of that flat 6 ahead of him, of Nan Zavano, the Mecca Esports car, running slightly wide into the chicane, and Steph Jones taking quite a bit of the first curb. But looks like both of them got a clean drive. Will be looking for the slipstream on the way down the pit straight. Ivano moving across to the left. We'll see if Jones makes the move. He pulls out. He's got the overspeed. Is he confident on the brakes to make it stick though? Oh, they both go wide, and Ivano's had a half spin. So the pressure that Jones put him under has paid off.
Didn't look like there was any contact there between the 2 drivers, and he might have just lost it on the brakes by himself. But it's unfortunate to see Dan Zavano, who's been so strong this entire championship, making a mistake just like he did right there.
Yeah, so that puts him down in 5th overall. not picking up as many points as he would have hoped potentially, and as our championship leader. So all of both championships, the AM and the overall Pro Championship, run one drop round. So this could be one of the ones that he drops, but that'll all play out at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, we're seeing which rounds they'll drop. It'll be the lowest scoring round, which they have 2 races at every round, and that one will be removed unless they ask to have another one removed. I don't know why you would want that, but you never know. As we're now looking at this battle here between Will Money and Dennis Pickbrenner. This is between a Pro and an AM driver, Pickbrenner being one of the Pro competitors. And Will Money doing rather well in our AM Championship. The place that he's in escapes me at the moment.
Third.
He's third.
He had a great round last time out at Mosport and jumped 2 spots. So now sitting in third. He is just under 300 points off the lead of the championship, but that would be a full round win advantage that Niels Leppers and Francois Coulet have ahead of him.
That is a massive deficit of a gap there. Hopefully he'll be able to try and claw that back bit by bit, and he is the highest classified car of those 3 drivers. So he'll be doing his best part to try and recover that. Although he is currently in the mix with Dennis. And if I was in Will's shoes right now, I'd be thinking about letting Dennis by soon, because I think Will at the moment needs to start focusing on that AM Championship, and battling a pro driver isn't something that I think should be concerning him all too much. And we'll never know, he might be deciding to pull away, to pull to the side and let Dennis through if he's really just focusing on his AM Championship. As we now see Dennis happening right there. Will Money braking nice and early to let the German sim racing friends have the inside, and Will Money realizing it's not his battle and instead just going to focus on defending from the other AM drivers. And with just 7 minutes left to go, it looks like he's on for a very good shot at it.
Yeah, sensible stuff there from Money. He'll be hoping to bring the bread home, as it were, at the end of the night. So it's second at the moment in the out standings, doing a very good job as we look at Lit Chmielowski coming through the final chicane on his 11th lap, doing a grand job out front. Now got over a 6-second lead over Stefan Jones in second place, and just doing a bit of hot lapping, really, I suppose.
Does this remind you of a certain 100-time F1 pole sitter?
Not at all. He's got taste. He's driving a Porsche.
Oh snap. We know which side of the boat Martin sits on. But so we've got Luke at the moment. Like you said, he got a 7-second lead now over the car behind of Stefan Jones, but Stefan Jones isn't far ahead of the man in third place, newcomer to the championship, Adrian van der Berg, and just behind Tom Voss, who is... Tom Voss has had a really up and down season. He's had a bit of a roller coaster. He's always been really, really fast, but he's just not had the luck on his side. He keeps on getting caught up in accidents. 9 times out of 10 haven't been his fault, which is a real shame, but it looks like today he's on the comeback, and he's going to be pushing as hard as he can. It's a sprint race, you've got to be, to try and get that second place. And it's only a 1.5 second gap now between Tom Voss and Stefan Jones. But then again, Stefan Jones is in the best position he's been in all season. We've only seen one backmarker racing get a podium so far in the championship, and that was Sebastian Boschel-Williams at Mid-Ohio managed to secure a third place. Other than that, I've not seen backmarker racing scoring very well, and I personally, from a sentimental point of view, would quite like to see backmarker racing getting another car on the podium.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just one of our one of our admins and a couple of the other helpers for ISRC. Race in the Endurance Championship under the backmarker racing banner. But yeah, it's good to see them support the Sprint Championship too, and have a pretty nice livery as well. I do quite like that. Simple but effective.
Indeed it is. although not effective enough to pull away. Good liveries don't give you speed, unfortunately, and it doesn't look like Stefan Jones is coping with the pressure that's being put on by the Dutchman right behind him. He's got to keep a cool head now and just focus on these apeces. To try and pull away the best that he can, because if he doesn't and he's put under pressure by Adrian van der Berg, that's going to give Tom Vos just enough of an advantage to sneak onto the back, and this two-way battle will turn into a three-way battle, and that's not what any of these drivers apart from Tom Vos want. So yeah, Stefan Jones really needs to focus on trying to pull away, but he's busy defending now, and this is where Tom Vos is going to catch up as Adrian van der Berg looks to the outside, braking late. They're going to be going too wide into turn one. I'd be surprised if Adrian can make it work around the outside. Unfortunately, he can't, and that's what I mean. Tom Vos now right on the back end of Adrian van der Berg, and now van der Berg has gone from being the hunter to the hunted.
Indeed he has. So we've got 3/4 of a second covering these three, as you can see on screen. They're incredibly tight, and newcomer to the championship, Adrian van der Berg doesn't want to, I hope he doesn't want to send any loose moves down the inside of our more regular championship competitors, but nonetheless who still want to have a good showing and enjoy the race. I mean, you could argue he's got really nothing to lose, sat there in the lead of the AM standings at the moment, a 9.4 second gap over Will Money in second place. He probably won't be bothered, but yeah, maybe he will be bothered by the overall standings, maybe not. But yeah, just going out there and having some fun. And as he gets a big slide at the final corner, that allows Tom Vos to go side by side, and around the outside he goes. But I wonder if Adrian will get a bit of a slipstream. Tom Vos going to the inside wall, trying to maximise the slipstream that he gets from Stefan Jones ahead of him, but then also avoid it from Adrian van der Berg behind. It's braking now again for the first corner. They've all hit their marks that time. Nice and safely does it.
Yeah, as we see there, that's allowed Stefan Jones to create more of a gap now, so he's now got a 1.2 second lead over Tom Vos. So we're now looking back at this battle between German sim racing cars yet again. They always seem to end up near one another. No matter what they do, they're always battling, it seems, at every single race. And this time, last time, it was Des Pitbrenner and Andre Geiger, and now we've got Andre Geiger and Nils Leppers who are battling, and Geiger's the car behind, which is not... which is weird to say in these Porsche Cup races, as he's shown to be more competitive than a lot of our pro drivers and, dare I say, his other teammates.
Yeah, strange to see that. He was up with his other teammate, Dennis Pickbrenner, in the blue German Sim Racing Friends car at the start of the race. But yeah, has fallen away from there. But the important thing for Andre Geiger is he is in pole position at the moment for race 2. So he might be able to use this to a huge advantage and come away with a race win in race 2.
Exactly, he's got to be thinking about that race 2 reverse grid and just trying to hold on to that 10th place best he can. He's got actually, in all fairness, he's got a 15-second gap behind, so he hasn't got to worry. But somebody who does have to worry, Stefan Jones. He's fast, but unfortunately right now Tom Vos is being a little bit faster. 3/10 last time Tom Vos was quicker than Stefan Jones, which means the gap now is just 6/10. And is he struggling with tyres, Martin, because he is running very deep at these corners, or is it the track temperature that might be getting to him?
I think you're right. I think it might be the track temperature. We saw track temperatures over 30 degrees. In practice, but there's 46 degrees at the moment. That is ridiculously hot. Yeah, a very sunny day in Spain in May of all times. I'm sure neither of us would survive those sort of temperatures, Isaac. Yeah, I'm glad these guys are out on track, because that must be absolutely horrible. Yeah, the Porsche Cup car is one of the most difficult cars to drive in the world. You know, if you end up winning a Super Cup race, you know, Mobil 1 Super Cup race, never mind the championship, then you are one of the best drivers in the world, you know, and more often than not go on to great things with big OEMs in motor racing. So to combine that with a 46-degree track temperature, yeah, I'm not surprised these guys are struggling, missing apexes and braking points, and yeah, just generally just trying to drive it using a lot of their brain power.
Being a redhead, I'm sunburnt at the thought of those temperatures. However, there's only 2 corners to go now for Stefan Jones to hold back Tom Voss, the Avensis racing driver, and he's got a bad run out of the chicane. I don't think Tom Voss is going to be able to get by. He's had to get out of throttle. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make the move unless he can pull alongside at the start-finish line as they approach it, and unfortunately for Tom Voss, he cannot. So Stefan Jones there takes 2nd place and Tom Voss 3rd, and our winner of the AM race, Adrian van der Berg, will money after having a bit of a roller coaster of races. Managed to finish 2nd in class, and then Andre Geiger has finished in 10th, sealing pole position for race number 2. Fortunately for Francois Coulet, he's finished down in 11th place, and the car behind him on track is David Glass, who we saw having that incident at turn 1 and has resumed back out onto track, perhaps just to get that little bit more track time and elevate his way up through the starting order. Unfortunately, we had a lot of retirements that race from that lap 1 incident. What could you say to the drivers to try and avoid that in race number 2?
Remember where the brake pedal is? Or at least your braking marker? Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it happens every now and again, and that is the first time we've had it happen within the championship. So, well, we're an 8-round championship with 2 races on each race, on each round. So if it happens once out of 16 races, then whilst it's unfortunate, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. And with a drop round involved as well, we won't be we'll be able to deal with that. As part of our competitors will be able to deal with that.
Good race.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a better run down to turn 1 this time. As we have up on screen our results from race number 1, Luke Chmielowski was your winner. Lights to flag. Victory there for the Frenchman for Lithium Motorsports. The excellent drive from him, and the 2nd place for Backmarker Racing comes from Stefan Jones. Epic drive from him, finishing just ahead of Tom Voss there. What was that, just 1.2 tenths at the line, or 0.12 seconds at the line, I should say. And then Adrian van der Berg, first time seeing him in the championship, and first race win in AM. So congratulations to the DC Sim Racing driver, ahead of our overall championship leader, Nanzavano, in 5th. Dennis Pickbrenner is in 6th place. Will Money is in 7th overall and 2nd of our AM competitors. So congratulations to him with 3rd place of the AM competitors. Wout van Krooijsen just behind. So that's 2 podiums for Backmarker Racing this race. So excellent drive from them. Just behind, we've got Niels Leppers and Andre Geiger for German Sim Racing Friends in 9th and 10th respectively. Ahead of Francois Coulet, the last of our what will be our classified runners, as we've got Robbie van Oostenburg, who unfortunately didn't see what happened to him to cause him to retire. Ahead of David Glass, James Parker, Peter Plastow, Sebastian Boscher-Williams, Kevin Vermont and Raymond Scheffers, who unfortunately all had accidents at the start of the race, and unfortunately weren't able to carry on from there. As we're going to pull into the commentary box, Luke Chmielowski, you're a regular in here, and it's for all the right reasons recently. Congratulations on your win there in race number 1.
Thanks, everyone.
We were looking at the end of the race, and it was 46-degree track temperature. What is it like driving on a track that is that hot?
Well, it's a bit slippery, but I worked a lot on the setups, so it was kinda okay, I guess. I worked a lot on just some on the setup at these temperatures, so it wasn't oversteering or anything. I was quite confident with the car.
That's good to hear that you got confidence. We saw a lot of other drivers having issues earlier on. Later on in the race, but you did say that you did a lot of practice. How much practice did you do for this exactly?
I don't know, I did maybe 200 laps or something, like, because I'm on holiday right now, and I don't have much to do, to be honest.
Well, fair play. It seems to have paid off so far. It escapes me off the top of my head, but it was 10-second gap at the finish line and 4 tenths in qualifying. Seems to have paid off, so congratulations. All that practice is paying off. You got any comments, Martin?
I'm sorry, I was just trying to talk to Vincent in the background. Yeah, no, congratulations on another race win. So coming into the round, you were 216 points off Danzavano. That will have done you a load of good. That round. Sorry, that race win. You'll be starting from 10th place in race 2. What's the strategy, do you think?
I don't know. I'll try to be patient, not reproduce what happened last time where I was in the crash and I couldn't catch up with the guy in front because of some damages. So I guess I'll be patient. I know I have the pace. So we'll see, I guess.
Well, we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your holiday, I suppose, with another 20-minute, another 20-minute race, and hope to see you back in the commentary booth.
See you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. That was Luke Chmielowski from Lithium Motorsports there, getting what I'm going to say off the top of my head. I don't have a number here, but that is his 4th race win of the championship. So very congratulations to him, and a man who's just got his first win of the championship and first time driving in the championship. Adrian, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
This time here.
Yeah, thank you. It was a really tough race. The track was so incredibly warm, so the tires were, how they said, it was super hard to get the good temperature in the tires. But I had a really big slide, so unfortunately not P3 overall, but I'm happy with my first win in the AM class.
Well, that's it's good to hear. And congratulations. Luke was saying that he wasn't really struggling with the heat because he did 200 laps of practice, apparently, building a setup for this. Do you have any number to compare to that? How much practice did you do?
Not at all. I think I've a good 2 hours of practice, but I've my work, I've school, so I tried to do as many laps, but I'm happy. But all the lap times are so close, it's incredible, and I really like it, and hopefully I can get more wins in the last 3 races at Road Atlanta and the Nürburgring. But I'm really happy with this result, and yeah.
You should be after such an excellent drive. You've finished in 4th place overall, which will put you down into 6th place for the start of race 2, as we have the top 10 our reverse grid. What's your strategy going into this? Are you gonna just try and attack straight off the bat, or are you gonna sit back and maybe just try and gather up positions once the other drivers make mistakes up ahead?
I'm trying to get to go into the outside. If something happens, I can go right. I don't know. We will see what happened at the start. I saw a crash with David, a teammate of me, and Robbie was also part of it at the start, so that's not good for us, for the DC drivers. But hopefully, I think they are starting out 2 and 14, so we will see what they are doing to the next race. They are faster than me, so we will see.
Well, yeah, fantastic work in that first race, Adrian. And fantastic to have you on the grid, and along with your DC Sim Racing colleagues. Your overall impressions of the championship so far are quite good, then?
They're really good. It's, of course, the Endurance League, where they say black, and I'm not part of it, and I saw this Cup League, and I thought, why not? And everything is really professional, and I really liked it.
Fantastic to hear. Always good to get some feedback. We'll let you go now, if that's all right, and do a few more laps on this blistering track temperature before race 2 starts in a few minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that there was Adrian van den Berg and Luke Chmielowski, your winners from both the Pro and Am categories. So we're about to get through into race number 2 in just a minute and a half's time, but Martin, that was a hectic race. What do you take away from it?
Hectic, I think, is absolutely the way to describe it. Unfortunate to see that start line crash. Or the first corner crash. I think all of our drivers will have learnt a little bit from that, and they'll carry that with them as the rev rise on race 2. But yeah, I think this. You've certainly set a challenge with the blistering heat of the track temperatures today, Isaac. You've certainly laid down the gauntlet to all of our Porsche Cup drivers. It's cooled 2 degrees, it seems. It's only a mere 44 degrees now. I apologise, but nonetheless, it certainly is challenging and fantastic. That we did have some clean cars at the end of the race. Yeah, I mean, maybe Stefan Jones can make his way through the field on race 2. He managed to hold off Tom Voss there at the end defiantly. So he'll be starting from 9th position, just behind Tom Voss. And yeah, it's all going to be about that run down to the first corner again.
No, it is, and just been making sure the drivers are aware to keep it clean into tow, and we don't want to see a repeat accident there. Like you said, it was Sebastian Bosch Williams. Don't want to name and shame. It's Seb. After having his accident and causing the retirement of a couple of drivers. We've looked at post-race, but he said he's learnt from it, so we shouldn't see it again. But we're about to go to the grid. We're going to have just 30 seconds this time before we jump through into race number 2 compared to the normal minute wait before. But we'll give you your top 10 for the race.
So on the grid we have all German sim racing friends front row of Andre Geiger and Niels Leppers. We have Wout van Kroijsen for Backmarker Racing alongside Will Money on row 2. Row 3, Dennis Prickbenner and Nan Zivano of Mecca Esports. Then Adrian Vandenberg, who will be looking for a good start on his second race in the championship from row 4, alongside Tom Voss with him. Stefan Jones and Luke Chmielowski on row 5. Francois as the revs rise, and we will be going green very shortly. Looks like Andre Geiger didn't get a particularly good start, and he has been jumped by Niels Leppers. I think we had, was it Tom Voss get a poor start in the background as well? Will Money's looking down the inside. We are 3 wide. A slight lock up. Oh, German sim racing friends have not had a good time there. The yellow and blue cars ending up on the inside of it, but this is absolutely manic. There's a little bit of netcode there, I think, and a little bit of door banging as they all sort themselves out through turns 2 and 3 up towards turn 4. Mecca Esports car having a look up the inside, riding that sausage cup a bit violently as David Glass is making a look up the inside of turn 6. Adrian Vandenberg is now into P4 with Stefan Jones right behind him. So Vandenberg's had a fantastic... And oh no, Will Money's gone off there in the background, getting his braking all wrong round the long right-hand sweep as Nanzivano's holding off Sebastian Bosch Williams. Fortunately, Bosch didn't manage to keep it clean for the first couple of corners this time round.
Yeah, it was coming together there at the start of the lap, but a lot cleaner than race number 1. There was a coming together there between the 2 German sim racing friends cars, but everyone making it through a lot cleaner has led to a lot closer cars out on track. One of which is Nanzivano, and the man just behind him, which is Sebastian Bosch Williams, as there's contact up ahead. That's Stefan Jones. He's off the track along with Robbie van Uysenberg, one of the DC sim racing drivers. That's a shame to see. And there's another off. That's Luke Chmielowski. He's one of our race 1 winners, is off and around. That is a real shame to see there. I think that's just the challenges of turn 2 at Catalonia showing there.
Yeah, again, these difficult cars proving difficult as it were, as Pete Plasto lets Robbie van Uysenberg down the inside of him at the tight left-hander at the end of the back straight. Pete Plasto will be hoping to keep out of trouble and bring home a little bit of a points haul this race after not being classified in the first one, as Nanzavano has climbed all over the back of Will Money in his Mecha Esports car. Through the final chicane they go. These guys getting caught up. I think Ivano got caught up with Luke Chmielowski there at the exit out of turn 2, and he's heading for the pit lane, so he's not happy with his car, and you can see there the rear bumper is all caved in. Pete Plastow looking to make a move on Van Oostenbrugge, but unable to this time around into turn 1. He's certainly right up his tailpipes there.
So whilst all of that was happening, up at the sharp end of the field, Wout van Kruisen's leading the race. Am driver up into first, and it's the first time that we've seen a backmarker racing car at the front end of one of these fields. But right behind him is one of the fastest men in a Porsche in this championship, Tom Voss. He's going to be looking to try and make a move as quickly as he can. And just behind, Adrian van der Berg, who started from 6th place, is now up into 3rd. And he's hunting as well. He's going to be trying to make a move as quickly as he can. But Tom Voss is going to have his work cut out, because Wout doesn't have the outright pace compared to Tom Voss, but I've seen Wout race before, and he's a brilliant defending driver. Very good defensive, very clean, and I reckon he's going to give a good challenge here to Tom Voss. As looking at the timing screens, and the fastest man by, as we see him move up the inside, Tom Voss trailing up the inside, but Wout's not letting him have it that easily, and meaning that he's taking the normal racing line through the chicane, and Tom Voss can't make the move at the moment, although Tom is really close, and he's going to be wanting to try and make a move up the inside into this hairpin, no doubt, as he runs very wide. He's going to have an off track for that, possibly even a slowdown, taking out one of the cones there. And is he going to look up the inside, thinking about it, but he's broke a lot earlier than Wout. Is that by mistake? No. So Wout is going to be leading by the end of this lap, unless Tom could do some very impressive moves to get by in the final sector.
Yeah, as he runs off track again, kicking up dust in the face of Adrian van der Berg in P3, and second step on the podium at the moment, so he's done a fantastic job to come through from 7th place on the grid to be on the overall podium at the moment. That's a lap 5 they've just started, and he's already up there fighting for the overall win.
It is good to see new faces up at the sharp end of the field. We've got a lot of older drivers who've been racing in the championship since the start up at the front, who we haven't seen before at this round, and one of the drivers who's really showing their cards today, Sebastian Boschel-Williams, has just been setting purple lap times the entire time. So we're now going to look down to the battle for 7th place, and this is Robbie van Oostenbrugge defending from Francois Coulet, or is he making a pass on Francois? Sorry, I didn't quite catch the end of that, but Francois Coulet is now under pressure from Plastow behind. We've seen Plastow's very, very good at making moves. He doesn't like to drive aggressively, but pressures the drivers ahead into making mistakes. He does it very well, and he might have just done it there. As you see, Robbie van Oostenbrugge running very wide. Francois Coulet then tries it up the inside, although not able to make the move stick, and that has closed that little gaggle of cars right up. So just behind Peter Plastow, we've got Stefan Jones, and Nils Leppers and German sim racing friends Green and White is right behind him, and yeah, less than a 10th separating these as Peter Plastow tries it up the inside of the corner, which you don't try the inside, and he's going to have the outside run going into the final corner. It's weird to say that at Catalonia with the chicane, and he's got a very good run. Francois Coulet is going to be left out to dry. Stefan Jones is now pressuring the Frenchman, going to be on the outside, breaking down towards turn number 1. Is there going to be contact made as Francois looks up the inside? 3 wide go down in towards turn number 1. Francois Coulet's up the inside, meaning Plastow runs wide, and Plastow loses maybe 2, possibly 3 positions. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He's now side by side with Nils Leppers, and he loses 3 positions there after Francois Coulet made a very nice overtake up the inside, which Plastow clearly wasn't expecting.
As we switch back to the front, and Sebastian Boschel-Williams is now sitting in 2nd place, so Tom Voss has had an incident. He has towed back to the pit lane, so not sure what's gone on there, but unfortunate to see somebody who was going to take, well, at least a second step on the podium, and therefore the points that go with it. But yeah, as you say there at the start of this race, Isaac, Tom Voss having a bit of an up and down season. But we now have Sebastian Boscher-Williams, the cause of the incident in the first race at the first corner, looking down the inside of Adrian van den Berg, making it 2x2 as they go around there. As Wout van Kruijsen's, as they're still 2x2 and rubbing door handles. Oh, that's not good to see in these cars. They're hard enough to handle at the best of times. Never mind when there's contact involved.
Flash of the lights in absolute frustration from Sebastian Boscher-Williams there. Sorry, Martin, I cut you off there.
No, that's quite alright. I think we heard a bit of an apology from Adrian van den Berg there as well on the radio. But no, Boscher will be looking to get past, and I think Adrian's he's excited for that overall win after taking an AM win. I think that this is the next tick on the bucket list, as it were. Looking very neat through the final chicane. Boscher taking a bit too much of that inside curb, which has allowed the gap to open up around the final corner and down the pit straight. Let's have a look at how big the slipstream effect is this time around, and unable to make much inroads there on Adrian due to the distance that he fell back through that final chicane. But he's closed right back up here as David Glass and Wout van Kruijsen are battling through turn 2. Quite a bit of damage there on the front of the DC Sim Racing car of David Glass. Not sure what's happened there, but looks like he's taken a substantial hit or two.
Yeah, substantial to say the least, as we see going side by side Adrian van den Berg and Sebastian Boscher-Williams, although Williams looked like he had the run, had to back out of it there. I don't know what happened, maybe got a kick of oversteer, which we didn't quite catch on camera, but that's let Adrian get straight back by. And his racing's very, very close, and dare I say it, I think Adrian needs to start thinking about preserving his first in AM, and perhaps considering letting Boscher-Williams through. It's not his battle. I mean, Boscher-Williams, his fastest lap he's looking at is 7/10 faster, or half a second faster, sorry, than Van den Berg's, and maybe Adrian needs to start thinking about letting him through and just focusing on the win in the AM class.
Yeah, it would be a fair strategy, but there's a reason also why the AM runners score overall points as well. So they are rewarded for a good performance, and if he's going to keep Sebastian Boscher-Williams behind for the remaining 9.5 minutes of this race, then fair credit to him. It is up to the pro driver to get past the AM in a clean and safe way, and Van den Berg is holding him up, but he's also entitled to, so it's up to Boscher-Williams to make a safe manoeuvre as he would with anybody else in his own class. I do like this view though. I rewatched race 2 from Silverstone, round 1, from this view on, I think it was my car, when I had my battle with Tom Voss, and it sounded glorious, looked glorious as well.
Gives you a real sense of how big that wing is and how close cars get. And speaking of close, Sebastian Boscher-Williams getting close but not close enough to make a move, having to sit behind for the moment. Although he's going to want to try and make this move as quickly as he can. Although that being said, he did have Kevin Vermont back in 3rd place, who's unfortunately had a mistake, meaning that he's dropped down into 6th, and now that's put Wout van Kruijsen up into 3rd place. But in this battle here with the 2 newcomers to the championship, David Glass and Robbie van Oostenburg. And David Glass defending up the inside and attacking a little bit of both there, and about just perhaps letting him by, deciding this isn't his battle to fight, maybe driving a little bit too aggressively for Wout's liking, and just thinking conserving his race and trying to get the best result that he can. Although Wout's now got the fast and aggressive driver of Robbie van Oostenburg, who's trying to go around the outside through the chicane. Or is he going to try and do the over-under, dare I say? And he is. He's going to have the inside for the final corner. Textbook maneuver, allowing Van Oostenberger to get by Van Kruischen, although Kruischen's not going to let that slide. He's going to be trying the best he can to make his way by. Speaking of making his way by, another backmarker racing car, Bosch Williams trying the best that he can, but he's not able to get past the AM driver of Van der Berg at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Bosch Williams is nibbling at every single corner, whereas I think he needs to hold back a little bit and make one decisive move, because he's losing a little bit of time with every little nibble that he has at the back of the tailpipes of Van den Berg's car ahead of him. And yeah, I think if he sets him up for a proper manoeuvre, then he'll get him and probably pull away after that. But no, Van den Berg in the DC Sim Racing car is doing a fantastic job at the moment.
Really making a name for himself in this first appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's signed up and he's definitely arrived on the scene, and a nice distinctive livery to go with it as well. As Van Oostenberger has a bit of a slide through the final chicane, that might allow Van Kruischen in the backmarker racing car to close up on him, depending on the exit that they get. So head down to the first corner, looking for that braking point. Hits the brakes now, hard on the brakes, get it turned in. Van Kruischen taking a slightly wider entry than two cars ahead of him, no problems with that. And trying to avoid that sausage curb on the exit of turn 2.
Forgive me if I'm having some technical errors, but they're coming up to lap cars and well, that's... sorry, we're on board with the vote migration. Sorry, I thought we were on board with the leaders. And I thought they were coming up to lap 3rd place. Sorry, my bad. Misunderstanding from my behalf.
That's quite alright, but you are correct that there has been a lap car. So Nanzavano, our overall championship leader, has been lapped. He is one lap down, you can see in P12 on the timing tower on the left-hand side. So, yeah, not a very good night for him, and I'm sure that this will be one of his drop rounds. Oh, that's a huge slide from Van Kruischen out the chicane. Oh no, that's not a good decision. Oh, I'm struggling for positives there, but I think he took out a friend of his own, so hopefully they'll be able to patch that up quickly. But that was not particularly clever from Adrian van den Berg there. We do not like to see that, and I expect that to be heavily penalised by the stewarding team post-round.
Yeah, drivers need to be careful when rejoining. You've got your relatives on screen, use them when rejoining the track. You can end someone's race so easy, just like we saw Adrian van den Berg doing there, and it's just a silly mistake, which, yeah, we'd expect better from these drivers, and definitely be getting a slap on the wrists after this, right, from the race stewards.
Or even across the face, I think. Yeah, I mean, most sim racing equipment these days has you have a couple of buttons square in these Porsche Cup cars, so a simple look right as well would have helped him as well there to see that. We understand that the heat of the moment gets to you, but at the same time we would expect a bit of more professional experience and skills from our drivers. But focusing back on the action, Will Money in 9th place is tucked up behind Niels Leppers of German Sim Racing Friends, looking to the inside. He's looking from quite a long way back there, hoping to mind punt or at least distract Niels Leppers ahead of him. Nonetheless, Will Money's car is looking quite straight, which is very good to see. Unfortunately, one of a few cars without any panel damage, and we'll come away with 9th place points at the moment overall, and that will be 4th in the AM standings, so just off the podium. And Niels Leppers at the moment is holding up to that onto that final step. coming
It is
around the
indeed.
right-hand sweep.
He is indeed doing a very good job to keep Will Money behind. Will Money's shown really competitive pace all season. Unfortunately, not being able to get some brilliant results. Only one win, which came in Donington Park in race number 2. But he's going to try and get a podium here, hopefully, although he's not going to be able to get it after that run through the final corner. I presume the track temperature is still around the 46-degree mark, and so you see there, as he's coming out of that final corner, sliding, that he's still getting struggling with the tyres overheating. He's not got long left now. 2 more laps, via my reckoning, for him to make a move. If he's going to make one, so he's got to start thinking about making it rather quickly.
Yeah, but he's sliding away from the APCs there, and I think this, yeah, you are right, this track temperature is really coming into play as he's fallen off the back of Niels Leppers on that final lap. So it is cooling slightly. It's dropped 5 degrees from race 1, now only a measly 41 degrees Celsius. But no, that's still enough for the rear tyres in these cars to overheat and be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, like I'm saying, these cars are so sensitive as it is. Temperatures are not going to be helping by any means. But now this 3-car train, as they come on to the final lap of the race, Will Money's going to be doing all that he can to get by Niels Leppers in an attempt, last-ditch effort to get a podium. And saying that, Niels Leppers up ahead's got Francois Coulet, who he's going to be trying to make an overtake on as quickly as he can. So we might see a tidy little battle here coming on for second place in the AM race in the final half of the lap.
Crikey, yeah, only a half a lap to go. I hadn't realised that the time flowed that quickly. That's what happens when there's plenty of action out on track. As Sebastian Boscher-Williams comes round the right-hand sweeper towards the final chicane. Neatly does it now. He's got a 5-second gap over Robbie van Oostenbrugge. Through the final chicane he goes, getting the power down nice and smoothly. Round the final corner he comes. And after his earlier frustrations with Adrian Vandenberg, he comes away with maximum points for race 2 of round 6. Oh, nope, sorry, I'm a lap early. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I was going to say, that's a miscalculation on my behalf there as well. There was 5 seconds in it. Okay, cut us some slack, please. Right, so...
I seriously hope I haven't cursed it now.
One more lap for Will Money to try and make his move. We've got a little bit of a train behind with Robbie van Oostenbrugge we're just looking at there, but Will Money is now right up the exhaust pipes of that German sim racing friends Porsche. Is he going to be able to make the move happen on this lap? He's really struggling to get that power down, it looks like. He's going to try to do the best he can going onto the back straight, and his next overtaking opportunity really is this corner that he's coming up into now, the hairpin.
Yeah, he really struggled to get it turned into turn 2. As he has a slight blink, he won't be close enough this time, although the concertina effect closes him up under braking. Trying to get all of that flat 6 power down. His next opportunity is really going to be out of the final corner, perhaps, if he gets a good run through the final chicane. Oh, as he's had a little bit of a spin there. Oh no, he's thrown away all of that good work. As you can see on the timing screen, that Sebastian Boscher-Williams, there he is, has taken the checkered flag. Thank goodness I didn't curse him. And I didn't even really say much about Will Money there, so that's some... I can't hang that one on me this time round. But good to see some better finishers in race 2, and yeah, much less incident, although I think there'll still be quite a few talking points as Luke Szymlowski crosses the line 12 laps off the and with a wonky car as well, so he's done well to get that car back out. Unfortunately, he won't be classified after finishing 12 laps down. So, our race 2 of the evening, and Sebastian Boscher-Williams came away with the win for Backmarker Racing. Robbie van Oostenbrugge was second, 6 seconds behind in the number 19 DC Sim Racing car. Kim Veermont rounds out the top 3 of the podium for Mecca Esports. 1 place back from him, Stefan Jones for Backmarker Racing. So a good showing from Backmarker Racing with Wout van Kroijsen taking the AM win and 5th place overall. Behind him, newly promoted Pete Plastow was finished 6th in the standings, just only half a second behind Van Kroijsen, and those critical points will have slipped out of his grasp by Van Kroijsen. Francois Coulet takes 2nd place in the AM category, and Niels Leppers rounds out the podium positions for German Sim Racing's friends. Will Money didn't had that last lap half spin through the final chicane, a little bit too eager with the throttle pedal, and finishes 18 seconds off our lead and 4th in AM. Lanzavano gets 10th place, 1 lap down, and David Glass, depending on the number of laps done by our race winner, may be classified 4 laps down there. Adrian van den Berg, I think, will fall foul of the classification. Unfortunately, we saw him with a quite a ridiculous attempt at rejoining the racing surface at the final corner. So our non-classified finishers will be Tom Voss for Avensis Racing, Luke Chmielowski from Lithium Motorsports, Raymond Sheffers also from Avensis Racing. Not a great night for them, unfortunately. Andre Geiger was quick in practice but unable to score any points in race 2. Dennis Prickbrenner, as similar story for him, and James Parker didn't start the race, I don't believe, for iRacing UK.
Thank you for that little rundown there, Martin. We appreciate it very much. As we welcome into the commentary box Sebastian Bushell-Williams. Congratulations on not only your first win of the championship, but the first win for Backmarker Racing.
Thank you very much.
We saw you had a bit of a dogfight on your hands as well. We escaped us what position you started in, but you definitely had to work for that win. It looked like making your way past Adrian van den Berg and your teammate Wout van Kroijsen in, like I said, a bit of a dogfight.
It was, I started 16th. I don't quite know where I finished, where I was up to on that one, but it was carnage. But yeah, racing P2 was really tricky, and if he didn't have, I can't even remember what corner, but I think he sort of got loose and we got really close together. It was great. I would have been happy to finish P2 and had a race that went on for longer, because that was awesome.
I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. We were talking to the others in race 1, and it was a 46-degree track temp, and here it was a 41-degree track temp. And we were talking to Luke Chmielowski, saying whether the heat had affected him, whether he was struggling, and he said no, and that he did 200 laps of practice. Could you compare? How much practice did you do for this race? Because I think 200 laps is a heck of a lot, if you ask me.
That's insane. I did the Tuesday practice, and that was it. So I think I'm up to like 70 laps.
70 laps even in one practice session is a heck of a lot. So just one final question from myself before I move on to Martin. Your livery, the Backmarker Racing cars run a very nice livery. We've seen it running over all the different series that you guys compete in, and also in official races. And you've got different colours signify different teams. Is yours the LGBTQ livery on the side of yours?
Yes.
It is. Okay. Something which I was wondering, which I was just wondering about myself, and we mentioned it a couple of rounds ago. But yeah, it's good to get clarification on that. And hand you over to Martin, see if he's got any questions for you.
I suppose. Yeah. Firstly, congratulations on your first win. Very well done there. How did you like the first turn? The first turn of this layout of Circuit de Catalunya?
Did you see my start and turn in race 1? I hate it.
Oh. Sorry, that wasn't particularly well timed, was it?
No. Every time I see the 300 marker board, which is the brake marker, I go, I don't have to brake yet. There's still 300 meters until the corner. So it's good for overtaking though, but it's confusing for me.
Fair enough. Maybe we'll put in a request to iRacing to put some extra marker boards in for us. Yeah, sorry, my mind's gone blank. Absolutely.
Yeah, congratulations on your maiden victory. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get involved in for a chat. But yeah, two victories and the second place for Backmarker Racing, which is your best race event yet as a team. There's 2 rounds left at Road Atlanta and the Nordschleife. Will we be seeing you guys there?
Yes, definitely. We competed as a team the Porsche Cup in a Winter VLN series, so we are all practiced up and ready for the Nordschleife.
Oh well, there we are. So if you've done it in the Porsche Cup, he'll be ready. And I'm going to ask you one last question. If there was going to be a season 2 of the Sprint Championship, what car would you like to do it in?
Bearing in mind that the GT3 Porsche is coming out soon.
GT3. GT3 Porsche I think would be a good choice. All of our team are Porsche fanatics, so if I didn't say that, I don't think I'd be allowed back into my team.
Oh, fantastic. I'll fit in perfectly well there. I just need to keep it on the track a bit more.
Well, congratulations, Seb, on your victory here. And I'm going to let you step away now. And go and chat with your teammates. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time out.
Thank you very much, and well done for putting on this race, guys. It's awesome league.
Thank you very much. You're welcome anytime. You give us good feedback like that, and you're a Porsche fan, so you're at the top of the list in my book.
Thank you very much. Hey.
So that was Sebastian Boschler-Williams, winner of race number 2, and also team manager for Backmarker Racing. Race 2, just as hectic, but it was across the whole race. Stewards going to have their work cut out after this one, and I feel like several drivers are going to be getting like slaps on the wrists and, like you said, face. Let Anthony Joshua loose on them for 5 minutes. So Road Atlanta's next, and then the Nordschleife. What are you expecting from those two?
I think I'm hoping for slightly cleaner racing. We had a lot of cars with a bit of damage on them there. Yes, I'm expecting the next driver's briefing to give these drivers a bit of a G up and get their acts into gear, because it's a bit of a farce, I feel. But no, we'll sort it out, and as you say, the stewards will have the work cut out. But this has been a bit of an unusual circuit, and especially with the high track temperatures will have contributed to it as well. Hopefully we'll see at Road Atlanta some lower track temperatures, and we can go from there. And it is a circuit with only one layout, so we can't really it does have a second actually, a shorter one, but we'll be using the standard layout there. I'm expecting it to be good. And the racing will be fierce, and it'll be fantastic to see those cars snaking down the hill at Road Atlanta in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, all I can say is I agree with you. It would be awesome to see the cars racing at Road Atlanta, but God, I hate to be the guy that created the calendar for this and include a Canadian tire in Catalonia, huh? Oof.
Wouldn't want to be that. Maybe we need to do season 2 via by poll, and therefore it's everybody's fault rather than just one person's. How's that sound for you, Isaac?
Great, it was me. I chose the layouts. All right, I do apologise. And anyway, if you guys want to get involved in these final 2 races, Road Atlanta and the Nordschleife, I mean, Road Atlanta's kind of like a mini Nordschleife, and if you like the Nordschleife, then I'd be there. I've got nothing else to say. Everybody likes the Nordschleife, and if you don't, you're not human. So be there, be square. You're in a Porsche. You'll enjoy it. If you guys want to get involved, there's a link in the description to join our Discord. Make sure you click on that. And we've also got information on our new endurance series that'll be starting up at the end of the month. And we're also going to say this. We've got 2 days left on a poll. And if it carries on the way it is, and iRacing don't announce another official Le Mans, we might be hosting our own Le Mans, and if you want to get involved in that as well, join the Discord, because that is more than likely going to happen, I'm going to say. So yeah, if you guys want to get involved in ISRC, please join the link in the description. But from myself and Martin, if you've got anything to say, goodbye.
Other than like and subscribe this video if you want to see more stuff from us. Always good to get a bit of feedback. And yeah, the more cars on the grid, the better. They do say the Road to Atlanta is like a mini Nordschleife, so that'll be a nice little warm-up for the Nordschleife 24-hour layout that we'll be going to for our season finale. And I believe, Isaac, we might be seeing you on the grid for that race.
It's in the works. We're thinking about it. I might make my first ISRC appearance, but we'll see. I like the commentary box. I'm not sure if the guys like me in the commentary box, but I like the commentary box. It's safer.
Well, you've got 4 weeks to make a decision, and my money's on definitely one of those decisions, that I think you know which way that's going to go.
Yeah, I know it is. But from myself, Martin, and Vincent, who's very kindly been on the cameras today, thank you all very much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next Monday for the final round of the Equiva Esports Championships. Thank you all very much, and ta-ra!